Well, hold on to your butts, crypto fans, because we got some bad news to get into today. If you are a fan of gamers getting empowered through real ownership, because there is a new enemy for crypto games out here, and that enemy is called South Korea, which I love South Korea. South Korea is awesome. It's not the bad North Korea. Don't get it confused. South Korea is really good at League of Legends, and they've always been better at me at one of my favorite games of all time. And we've done coverage on this channel that South Korea has been like embracing the metaverse, and they created like Metaverse Seoul and all of that. But it seems like the winds have changed, and we have 3 different articles I want to get into today. Specifically, we're going to start off with this court ruling, what exactly happened, and why are they trying to stop gamers from being empowered through real ownership? And then after that, we're going to take a look. We're going to, face this back on ourselves and say, okay, is there a similar risk in the United States for NFT games? Like, are we a little bit ahead of our skis here? Am I going to have to flee the US if I still want to make content about players being empowered through real ownership and having access to true, healthy digital economies? Like, there's no way the US can be against that, right? Well, I didn't think South Korea could be against it. And we just got this news. So this is reporting from Kitco. They say, as evidence that the country also remained focused on the regulation side of the crypto industry, a court in South Korea has ruled against the release of a blockchain-based play-to-earn game after determining that in-game non-fungible tokens promote speculation, says the article. I actually don't think this is the real reason. And also, if that is, that's just absolutely stupid. Like, trading cards, speculation. I mean, some people, you could buy anything for speculation. That's so dumb. It's like giving people real ownership. If you give them ownership, they're going to start speculating. Don't let them own anything. That's just, oh my gosh. That just makes my skin crawl a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm all for freedom here. According to a report, but like I said, I don't think that's the real reason. We're going to get into the real reason in a second, but that's what this article says. According to a report from Yonhap News Agency, South Korean game developer Sky People, the game studio behind NFT game 5 Stars, filed an appeal to an earlier ruling arguing that in-game items and characters minted as NFTs are not rewards, but records of ownership. So this is what Sky People, the NFT game studio whose game is not being able to release in South Korea, is arguing, hey, this is just a record of ownership. This is not a reward. So it's kind of hard. It's because really getting ownership of something, I feel like, is a reward. So it's like, it is actually both. But why does South Korea have anything against people getting rewards? I mean, their League of Legends teams get tons of rewards playing League of Legends. The Seoul Administrative Court disagreed with that line of thinking, saying that it's just records of ownership, not rewards, and dismissed Sky People's appeal of the Game Rating Administration's committee decision not to possess the age rating for 5 stars. And this is a really big deal because in order to be released in the public in South Korea, or to the public in South Korea, all video games must acquire an age rating from the committee. So essentially the court said, committee, you don't have to give them an age rating. You're right. And because of that, this game now cannot release in the entire country of South Korea. So this is a really, really big blow against crypto gaming. So let's talk about the real reason, though, that I think that gamers, or that South Korea is not allowing this crypto game to release. And that's because South Korea actually has a rule. And that's why South Korea's game management committee has actually been battling against this game's release since April. This isn't a new thing. And this rule is that players cannot earn a prize amount by law that is above 10,000 Korean won, which sounds like a lot, but 10,000 Korean won is literally less than $8.50. So if a game gives the players the potential to win more than $8.50, it is entirely illegal. And I think we start getting into gambling laws and stuff like that. They're thinking about this in a completely different way. It's not a free open economy where players can just freely exchange things. And it's like, of course you can make more than $8 if you can sell something to someone else. You can also spend more than $8. It's like it's just a free economy. It's just free ownership. They're thinking of it more like, oh, this is a slot machine. Like this is a lottery. This is gambling. Which, of course, can you set up a blockchain lottery? Of course, but can you also just set up a free economy on the blockchain? Yes, so you can do both. So these governments just need to wise up and understand there's a difference. But I think that's the real reason there's a battle here happening. They don't want these games in North Korea because they think that it's just like essentially casinos that are threatening to just like infiltrate the whole country. At least I think if I'm like kind of Iron Manning South Korea's opinion, I think that's kind of the direction that they're coming from. But now let's take a look at this other article from Protocol. So they were just covering this, saying South Korea cracks down on play-to-earn games. And guys, play-to-earn games, I understand. Trust me, I understand they have a bad name right now because of Axie Infinity. But Axie Infinity, just because it didn't work doesn't mean play-to-earn games can't work. It just means play-to-earn games can't work set up like a pyramid scheme. It doesn't mean that a true balanced economy can't work. Like just because, like we already knew pyramid schemes didn't work. We should have been wiser quicker to what Axie was so that we didn't let it just like tar and tarnish the entire name of crypto gaming, drag it through the mud like I was going to make a rude joke, but yeah, unfortunately, Axie Infinity has made governments, they're like, no one likes play to earn games. It doesn't work. It's evil, but it was just Axie's problem, the way that economy was set up. It's not a fundamental issue with Web3 gaming itself. But anyway, the South Korean government has asked Apple and Google to block play to earn games in the App Store and Google Play Store. The country's game management committee requested that 2 mobile marketplaces ban the games that required in-app purchases before playing, Telegraph reported. So play-to-earn games are increasingly being linked to cryptocurrency. That's true. And I'm not going to get too deep into this. But yeah, so now not only are they banning this game, not giving it an age rating so it can't release, but now they're asking Apple and Google to just straight up ban the games, where you have EU doing like the complete opposite in Europe, requiring Apple release a second app store so they don't have regulatory control. So there's there's all of these different wins and interests happening on the global level here. So I think that must force us to ask the question, well, what's going to happen in America? If South Korea is doing this, like, is there risk in America? I think this is all going to get worked out. Like, in the end, people really just want to protect their citizens. They want to make sure that there's not bad actors in the space, and there are ways to like use crypto gaming poorly, and there's bad ways to set it up. There's exploitative ways to set it up, and there are bad actors in the crypto gaming space. So we have to understand that. But once governments realize, wait, there's really good ways to do this as well, I think that is when we're going to start getting the regulatory framework, hopefully, that protects the good way to do it and isn't just some sort of regulatory capture like FTX was trying to set up, and like so many other industries are. There's so much regulatory capture in the US. I can make a whole video about how messed up it is, how much it stifles new businesses and stuff like that. But there was this opinion called America's Slow-Moving Confused Crypto Regulation is Driving Industry Out of the US. My take is actually slow-moving is better than what South Korea is doing, which is just over-moving in the wrong direction, in my opinion. But I don't know how many people have heard like the good potential here. How many people have heard my perspective? So yeah. So let's look at this opinion here. What regulators need to proceed cautiously. Slowly, digital payment innovators in the US have been getting more guidance on how to launch new projects. Hapman said that if the Stablecoin Transparency Act passes, crypto payment processes like Circle will suddenly have a new regulator in the Federal Reserve, and Circle's director of global policy, Caroline Hill, agreed that Hoptman that this would be very welcome. So I think what we're seeing from America is different, and I disagree with this whole article's take, which is why I'm not going to read most of it. That it's actually driving. I don't think it's not driving Gala away. It's not, from the news I'm reading, it's not driving crypto gaming companies away from the U.S. They want the U.S. market, and what we're seeing different from the U.S. though, unlike South Korea, is that the U.S. is getting guidance from who they view as the good actors in the space. Hopefully they don't get tricked by more Sam Bankman frauds. But if they get good advice from the good actors in the space, they can create good regulation that fosters innovation and hopefully brings a whole new age of innovation and like economic expansion and explosion through AI and true web ownership and digital ownership in these new economies. I just think that there's a lot of exciting ways that this can just make the world better for everyone. And that's what I'm excited about. So is there risk in the US? Of course there is. But I even believe, maybe I'm just way too of an optimist, but I even believe that South Korea is going to work their stuff out. So not only do I not think there's risk inherently against crypto games existing and players having real ownership in the metaverse in the US, not only do I think there's not a fundamental risk about that, I don't even think there's a fundamental risk about that in South Korea once the knowledge just starts to become more commonplace and they get regulators that understand how this all works. So could it be banned for a couple of years? Of course, but then it's going to get unbanned eventually and everyone's going to get on board and we're just going to find the healthy ways to do that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It's not a great piece of news. I was very sad to see that, but hopefully you enjoyed just staying up to date on everything that's happening in the Web3 gaming space. If you did appreciate staying updated, remember to drop a big thumbs up on this video. That will help me out a ton. Also, make sure you guys are hitting subscribe as well if you're not subscribed already, and clicking that notification bell so that you can stay up to date with all things crypto gaming. And then finally, if you're not following me on Twitter yet, I'm trying to grow my Twitter here to 30,000 followers. We're here at 22,600. So we get great engagement though. Honestly, really impressive. So thanks for all the engagement, and we share a lot of news here on crypto gaming as well on Twitter. But until next time, everyone, thanks for watching and have fun roaming the metaverse.